got a hint yet? I don't think this is
MC.
I am
Everyone's standing.
And I'm basically applying I also love to shop, and my good friends call me the mall. The mall.
The mall. All together.
The mall, as in Molly.
M-A-U-L.
Okay, we got that.
Let's go, Silky
Hello
Adam.
everyone, I'm Silky M. Adams. I own and operate the Everlake Hub. I was christened Penelope McCorkle. I used to be known as Poppy. And my father, Champagne Charlie McCorkle, founded the club years ago. I took over management, married the Chicago businessman Ken Adams. But after my husband's unexpected death, I became known as Silky for my elegant silk gowns I'm accustomed to wearing. The Everlake Club is situated in the exclusive Lexington Gardens district, and it's Chicago's most prominent private establishment. Some of the wealthiest and most influential citizens of Chicago are club members who, despite their busy schedules, often stop in for an hour or two simply to pass the time in the club's elegant and relaxing atmosphere. Thank you, Sylvie.
Yeah, a very famous lounge singer. In case you guys don't know, we got Tochi. She's going to tell us about herself.
Well, my name is Tochi. I like to sing, and I'm really good at it.
Murder!
Thank you, Tochi. Thank you for being here today.
Of course, we got here a reporter of sorts, Miss Melissa.
Yeah.
I'm Melissa F. Orton, the young reporter for the leading newspaper, the Chicago Trumpet.
More like the Chicago Strumpet.
Myself, covering local crime and beats, and later the political scene. I consider beauty and leisure term have undoubtedly helped further my career, and I enjoy a broad circle of influential and powerful friends on both sides of the law. I count the editor-in-chief of the paper, Augustus Cone, as a close friend and ally. He is affectionately known to his staff as Citizen Cone. Recently, I have written a series of articles exposing corruption in the local government, and as a result, have attacked by several of the city's most powerful figures. I'm undaunted by threats against me and the paper. I have vowed to carry on the crusade until I expose every crook in Chicago. As a paper, I'm called Street.
But I thought they were your friends.
Okay, so. All right, everybody.
Your friends. You're going to treat them to your friends. We don't trust you.
Silky sing.
Together. And everyone can make their way inside here. We'll listen to a message from Bruce Leggett and
I said, look at your appearance. I'm not important, you know. We get warmer. Stop that. Oh, this is great. I like my seat.
Binigay ko yung libro yung sa akin.
Hi, Ronaldo.
All right, yous guys, now listen here. As the proprietor of this joint, I'd like to welcome yous and thank yous for coming. Yous might already guess that it was me who sent you the invites to this little meeting. If yous has got the drinks and other refreshments yous is gonna need, I'll begin. Yous is probably wondering why I called yous here like this. As yous know, on Thursday of this week, how Capone disappeared under suspicious circumstances, and he ain't been heard from since. Now, there ain't hardly nobody in Chicago who don't know that on Wednesday, Hal Capone got out of prison in Philly and with some of his boys caught the 8 o'clock train which gets into Chicago at 9:05 the next morning. As word had gotten around that Hal was on the train, there was a lot of people at the station, including some cops, reporters, and a few G-men. But Hal don't even stop to talk and gets right into McFarlane armored limousine that was waiting at the curb for him. If you was there at the station, you maybe noticed that only Hal got into McFarlane, and the rest of his boys climbed in one of the 7-passenger Lincoln touring cars that was also waiting there. And you wouldn't have missed the fact that when the McFarlane pulled away, it was followed by the Lincolns and several carloads of cops and revenues. Now, everybody knows that Hal Capone's headquarters in Chicago is at the Lexington Hotel. And except for a wrong turn down a blind alley took by Benny the Whale Martyr, Hal Capone's driver and the cars drove directly to the hotel from the station. And I knows that you've always heard that just as the McFarlane was driving up to the Lexington Hotel, it was blown to pieces by a bomb thrown in the driver's window, which was rolled down at the time. At first, of course, it was assumed that Hal Capone and his driver was buried up in the car, which was totally destroyed. As you has heard since, though, there was only one body found, and that was Benny the Wheels. Hal Capone's body wasn't even in the car, and he ain't been seen nowhere by nobody since, even though the police has conducted a citywide search. Now, it ain't gonna come as no surprise to you when I says that Hal Capone has a lot of enemies in Chicago. And there was also plenty of guys that stood to make a profit by Capone going up in smoke, if you'll excuse the expression. And I'm sure you'll agree that even the feds wouldn't have cried too hard to see their arch enemy Hal Capone blasted to pieces right in front of his headquarters. But when this very thing happened, and then they find Hal Capone wasn't even in the car, nobody else sees him when he gets into the station, well, the consternation what resulted was considerable. I ain't told you nothing you ain't already heard. Now I'm getting to the point of the story and the reason that I called you here tonight. Scarcely 2 hours ago, at about 5 o'clock, I heard from what you might call a contact inside Capone's headquarters that they has found Hal Capone, but that the circumstances of where they's found him ain't hardly possible to believe. I'm going to relate the facts as they was told to me. First, as you knows, the Lexington Hotel is a virtual fortress, and at all times armed men stands watch at each of the entrances and from windows overlooking the streets. Because enemy gangs has attacked the building from time to time, the windows on the lower stories is covered with steel louvers, and the garage door is covered with steel plate. Trucks and cars on Capone's business enters the garage only after giving a stop signal and being admitted. Second, what is knows the combination. Inside the vault, along with vast quantities of imported hooch and guns and ammo, is another even stronger vault, a safe. And only 2 times was the combination unlocked. First, there's Hal Capone himself. Second, there's Sonny Breezy Fingers Salamo and Dan's treasure. Terry! This is all heard that Hal Capone amassed a considerable fortune in cash money. It's a fact that most of his fortune was kept in a safe inside the vault, and that only Capone or Sonny Greasy Fingers Salamo could get at it. Nobody knows for sure how much the fortune amounts to, but there's them that says it's 30, maybe 40 million bucks. Fourth, last week, Sonny Greasy Fingers Salamo goes to New York to see his mother. and he only gets back today after hearing that Capone is missing. Now, it seems that in the week since he's been gone, the gang run out of cash. And so this afternoon, Greasy Fingers goes down to the vault to get some cash for payoffs and things. Accompanied by Johnny the Enforcer, Rico, and Joey the Rattlesnake Rotella, he opens the main vault door and goes inside. Then he opens the safe door. Inside that, instead of finding the fortune, they find now Capone's body riddled with machine-gun bullets and lying in a pool of his own blood. The fortune's missing. It goes without saying that how Capone is so closely guarded that nobody can sneak inside, even if they was to know the secret combination. Now, I done some figuring. And if 30, 40 million bucks in 50s and 100s was piled up in stacks 3 feet high, the stack would be 3 feet across and 6 foot long. Sneaking that much money out past armed guards just ain't possible. Even planting and sneaking past the guards in the first place is possible, which it ain't. Now, there's also one note. Just before Sam Greasy Fingers Salamo went to New York to see his brother, he and Johnny the Enforcer Rico went down to the vault, and the fortune was all there at that time. Also, he probably knows that Hal Capone's built a whole bunch of underground tunnels connecting the Lexington Hotel with his brothels and speakeasies in the area. But it's a fact that we can't get through these tunnels into the basement where the vault is without going through the garage first and then past the guards. Now, Capone's gang has decided that it was Sonny Greasy Fingers Salamo who done it. Me? I don't think Greasy Fingers done it at all. I think it was one or more of you. I've been watching things and listening to things, and I've got some ideas of my own about how you might have done it. So, here's the pitch. Either you cuts me in for an equal share of the loot, or I turns you over to the boys at the Lexington. Now, it's possible that all of you wasn't in on this, and that I'm accusing an innocent person, but that's the risk. Now, don't get no wise ideas. I got a few of my friends with guns, watching the door, and of course, Capone's boys is only across the way, so there ain't no use in running for it. He just sits here nice and quiet. Me and the girls will keep the food and the booze coming, and just talks things out. I'll leave yous alone for a few hours, and if by then yous has decided amongst yous who's got the loot and where it's at, then we can get down to business. But if at the end of that time, say midnight, yous ain't prepared to do a deal, then I'll call Johnny the Enforcer Rico and Joey the Rattlesnake Rotella and see what they thinks of all this. So there, who needs another shot of hooch?
Yeah! Bartender! More hooch!
Okay, next, everyone's gonna read the next 2 pages.
I can't hear.
Okay, and if you didn't get everything she said, there's a paper over here that everyone can take a look at, and then we can pass it around.
Wait. So I read
The next one?
So I didn't have to
the next two.
You read round 1. It says round 1 on the next 2 pages. That's what you read next.
Where's the bartender?
Here's the facts of the case. I'm going to leave them at this table. This is basically what she was talking about.
I'm allowed to take a break.
Don't break the
Good job, dude.
We know and Gino.
What's that?
Frankie, I think he needs a
What happened?
okay.
I got it now. Water.
Vodka.
What's that arm here? What's next? What do you want? Alright, I don't want to. It's probably not less than half, but that's right. That's a bit like. There's probably like one swig in there.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
You look good.
Oh,
No, your name is Gino. Round one.
like this. Breathing.
I know, worst party ever.
Yeah, that's great. All the other games?
You see our waitress in there?
I know.
It's like I thought it's an ashtray.
It's not a cigar. It's a bonus. It's a hidden
You can still find out who it is.
Right. And then smoke it. There you go.
Father would like
Hey, you don't have to tell us all, everybody. I bet that out of business movies in 1920s. I just keep going. Everyone give you hey, what's up, Mike?
You guys really can't laugh.
Alright, everybody. We want to talk to people and maybe find out what information they know. And that's what we're going to do now. We started round one.
You
And
guys
every major player has got some information they want to reveal to you. So you just got to talk to somebody and get some information.
what else are we supposed to say? Where is the soup? Yo, I think
Hey, you already said the other one. Talk to you for a minute.
it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I worked on it. everything.